I was 17. I had just finished basketball practice and was walking to my car. It was January, so it was already dark outside. I had just pulled my car keys out of my pocket when, suddenly, I felt lightheaded. I remember losing balance and blacking out before I hit the ground. I woke up feeling dizzy, hungry, and confused. After getting up and blinking to clear my vision, I realized that I was in front of my house. The front door was open. I got up, regained my balance, and went in, thinking that my sister had forgotten to shut the door again. I slammed it shut and deadbolted it for good measure. Mom? Nothing? Even my cat hadn't run down to greet me. I was about to call again when my stomach growled. I went into the kitchen and found scrambled eggs, bacon, French toast and coffee sitting out, all of it still hot. My self-control failed me, and I gorged myself like a pig. After I'd eaten, I put the dishes in the sink and poured myself another cup of coffee. It was weird that Mom had remembered to buy matcha. I always got upset when she forgot to get it while shopping, and I always ended up going to the store to get it myself. Realization hit me like a truck, and I dropped the mug, sending shards and hot coffee all over the floor. How had I gotten home last night? I ran to the kitchen window overlooking the driveway. My car, my 2006 Prius, wasn't there. Had my mom taken it? She sometimes took it to work if I didn't have school, so she didn't have to carpool with Dad. And it was Saturday. I glanced at the clock. 9:32. I calmed down. That's it. Mom and Dad were at work. My sister was probably at her friend's house. I cleaned up the coffee, cursing at myself for overreacting, then went into the living room to watch a movie. I found one, turned on the TV, and got about halfway through it when I decided that I'd rather watch TV. It was at this point that I really started to sense that something wasn't right. While the DVD player had worked fine, cable TV wasn't working at all. Channel after channel showed nothing but snow. Despite my growing panic, I tried to reason with myself. Maybe something was wrong with the satellite dish. I went outside to check. The problem with the TV became obvious. The satellite dish was gone. What the hell? I yelled out in surprise and frustration. My voice echoed across the neighborhood. At that moment, I had another terrifying realization. I was the only one outside. In my neighborhood, there's always someone outside, kids on bikes, people gardening, walking their dogs, jogging, or washing their cars. Especially on Saturday. I remembered my missing car and quickly scanned my neighbors' driveways. No cars to be seen. Possible explanations raced through my head. Maybe everyone had evacuated because of a hurricane? There had been a level 1 hurricane when I was 5, but it hadn't done a lot of damage, and Mom had always told me that hurricanes don't usually come through. Mom. Dad. Tori. My cat. Where was my family? I turned and ran back inside, not bothering to close the door. I bolted up the stairs towards their room and threw open their door. They weren't there, their bed hadn't even been slept in. I tore down the hall to my sister's room. Her panic. At the disco posters were still up, and her Barbies were still all over the floor, but her bed hadn't been slept in. I raced across the house, checking any and everywhere they could possibly be. But they weren't there. Even the family pictures were gone. It was like they hadn't lived there at all. I tried to call 911. No cell service. No Wi-Fi, either. I was starting to lose it. Where was everyone? I spent the rest of the morning, and I wouldn't have done this if I didn't think it was necessary, breaking into my neighbors' houses. Through this, I learned 2 things. 1. Windows are harder to break than you'd think, and 2. Every house except for my own was completely devoid of furniture, food, or anything at all. When I had investigated 7 different houses, I started running. Don't ask me why, I was acting on impulse. I made it all the way past the school's baseball diamond when I hit something. It was like hitting a glass wall, and it knocked me flat on my back. I lay there dazed for a minute before I realized what happened. I'd hit some kind of barrier. I put my hand on it. It felt like vibrating glass. I walked alongside it, keeping my hand on it the whole time. By doing this, I found out that the barrier covered my house, my neighbors' houses, my school, completely empty, just like the other houses, the church, other than the Bibles, everything was gone, the grocery store, the cash registers and money were gone, but the food was still there, and the local library. I couldn't deny it anymore. No people except for me, no furniture in any house except my own, all communication blocked, and a barrier keeping me from leaving. I made my way back to my house, what else could I do? And found, to my shock, a hot bowl of soup and a roll waiting for me. I remembered the breakfast that had been waiting for me that morning. Someone else was in my neighborhood, they might have even be watching me. At least it confirmed a few facts. Someone wanted me to stay alive, hence there still being heat, power, food, water, and entertainment. Someone had put me here, and someone wants to make sure that I can't get out. I've been here for 2 years now. I think I've come to a conclusion about what happened that night. Somehow, I was kidnapped and taken here. I think, but I'm not sure, that I'm part of some sort of experiment. Whoever my captors are, they watch me. I've tried to escape 3 times, twice by trying to break the barrier, once by trying to literally dig my way out, and each time I was somehow knocked unconscious and woke up on my front porch, like when I first got here. I don't know if I can last much longer. I miss my family, my friends, my neighbors. I'm creating this message as a last resort. If you find this message, please contact the people at the address attached. Please tell them that I love them.